Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Zenith Captain Tourbillon. You can see this exceptional Zenith Tourbillon in stainless steel on our website. Purchase it there, and if you enjoy these videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can see the entire listing for this watch by clicking the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this timepiece with additional accessories included in the sale, high resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this extraordinary stainless steel 40mm tourbillon. And that's right, it is a 40mm tourbillon in stainless steel. If you'd always wanted a tourbillon caliber, but you didn't want a oversized, ungainly, or outrageously priced precious metal timepiece, this is the answer. This watch, wonderfully discreet, part of the Zenith Captain family, uses an El Primero style high-speed escapement and 50-hour power reserve, and couples it with an understated, simple, easily legible dial in a stainless steel case that's everyday wearable. Now, okay, let's take a look at the dimensions, because this watch wears more compact than you would imagine. It's a true 40mm, and the unconventional placement of the crown means it intrudes even less on the wrist. It seems to simply blend away. With a lug-to-lug span of 48mm, it's quite compact, and in my estimation, you could wear this on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters in circumference. If you can wear a 40mm Rolex, you can wear this, perhaps even smaller, because most 40mm Rolex watches now include flaring solid end links. No such problem here. 48 lug to lug, 14.5mm thick, but due to the conical bezel and the domed sapphire, it's easy to slip underneath a dress cuff or a tight sleeve. The watch is simple but tastefully rendered. You can see the case all of high polish with a subtle bevel along the lug flanks, and there's a small step on each side where the lugs themselves abut the bezel, and that small valley between them forms an arc visually uniting both ends of the case band. Now, the strap is substantial, but pared down. In the fashion of the watch, it's upscale, but in many ways minimalist. Unbolstered, but with a high-grade rectangular scale, medium brown alligator leather with a monotone stitch and folded edges, thoughtfully equipped with a rubber inlay on the bottom for souplesse and comfort against the skin, avoidance of chafing on hot days, but also to isolate the leather from the heat, the moisture, and the oils of the wrist for long-wearing durability. The clasp is exactly what you would expect on a tourbillon. It is a full double deployant, with the swing arms of the clasp acting as springs for the release mechanism. Now, the release mechanism being twin trigger for security, it cannot simply pop open. This provides a loop once you fix it to the opposite side of the strap, additional insurance against droppage while donning or removing at bedside. But the centerpiece of the watch must be the dial and the tourbillon. Necessarily, this is an extraordinary combination of a very wearable watch in a common-sense material and Zenith's highest of high horology complications. Now, what you'll see on the dial is simple, beautiful, faceted, diamond-polished, and hand-applied numerals and indices, faceted hands at the center with a center spline to differentiate the metal and break up the visual mass of the Dauphine-style hands, and then a very subtle railroad-style minutes track outboard featuring small stylized Roman numerals at each station of the hour. Now, there's an inner and outer dial with a small amount of embossed dial patterns, concentric circles, to give a little bit of differentiating line, and then the star is the tourbillon aperture. It's slightly countersunk to put it on a different plane than the dial, and then the tourbillon bridge itself is exceptionally finished with a mirrored rounded anglage on its edges and a satin finish on its top. Now, this is where the finish of the watch diverges from Zenith convention. Now, all Zenith watches are nicely executed, but most feature principally industrial finishing, executed with the assistance of machines, and that's largely what you get on the reverse side of this watch. But the tourbillon bridge itself, as well as the upper rails of the tourbillon cage, are immaculately finished. It's what you would expect in the ultra haute de gamme, and here Zenith's hand finishing specialists really deliver to differentiate this tourbillon style El Primero from your typical caliber 400, for instance. Now, it's also a free sprung balance to resist shock or bump or vibration-induced timing deviation, and to allow the exceptional tourbillon regulator to take and hold a very precise regulation in the hands of Zenith's masters. Now, on the back, you kind of get the best of both worlds because it's El Primero tough. Despite being a high horology piece, it's not a prima donna. Robust winding system inherited from the chronograph, 50 to 52 hour power reserve, 25 joules. It's an El Primero tourbillon, which means when you hold it against the ear, you hear that 36,000 vibration per hour beat rate. It also features 50-meter water resistance, so while it's not swimmable, it's solidly more protection than you get in the typical dress watch class, that is 2 to 3 ATM. A remarkable watch, front and back. It's also a remarkable value from one of the truly great manufacturers in horology. If you want an haute de gamme movement from a rock-solid and legendary brand with a rock star heartbeat, the El Primero name, and the Zenith Imprimatur, you can do no better than this Zenith Captain Tourbillon, available for purchase on our website.